The market grinds slowly higher as we head towards CPI. Will it be all bull, or will the bears finally step up? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in yesterday's video, we talked about the fact that when the market was pulling back, if it couldn't break support, we would likely see it grind higher to a new high, and that's exactly what we saw. The market was unable to fully break down and then grinded higher to a new high as we head into CPI. Now, the question is, who's going to show up? I'll get into that in just 1 second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, with the move higher, we are coming into some more heavy resistance. So let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 1-hour futures chart for the S&P 500. And as you can see, when I was recording the video last night, we had just stopped moving down and started to move up. And I said if they were unable to come down and break through this low, then we would likely see them grind higher toward this trend line. And that's exactly what we saw. The market opened, tried to grind lower, poked below the lows, but was really unable to get there, and then was back up in the top of the box. And really what we're looking at is a potential wave 4 and 5 up here to complete this last little move. You can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And wave 5 does look incomplete at this time. However, we did get a new high. So we do have a total of 5 up. So we could see a pullback at any time from here, but we would like to see a little bit higher in wave 5. I'd like to see them kind of push up into this trend line and then start to pull back off of it. There is a lot of resistance at this trend line. You have this trend line coming down. You have a very important moving average sitting here on the daily. You have the 618 just above it at 44.68. So I wouldn't expect the market to necessarily just plow through that area. It's possible. They certainly can, but it wouldn't be a typical expectation at this time. The expectation would be they come up into the trend line, they fail, and they start to give us a pullback. And then we can decide if we're going to get a 3-wave pullback or a 5-wave pullback, which will tell a bigger picture overall. So if you remember in yesterday's video, we talked about the big picture and then we drilled down, and really the message is the same. We can look for higher. They can still push higher. We're still well within our 44.68 to 45.51, which is the 618 and 764. We're still well within our resistance area for wave 2, but we're also getting pretty high up with no real pullback. So if you'd expect this to be an A wave off the bottom, right? So if we're looking at this as a move up off the bottom, you don't really have a solid B wave, but this isn't necessarily uncommon when you come off of a diagonal, which is what we've been talking about for quite a bit. But we do have a pretty straight move up. So if this is going to be an A wave, then if we get a 3-wave pullback like this and start higher, I would start to switch into a bullish count because the C wave is going to come up pretty high, which will drive the NASDAQ up and through its wave 2 high and will nullify its diagonal to the downside. And overall, this will create a bigger A wave up here. And then we'd look for a B and a C to all-time highs for a larger ending diagonal off of the October lows of last year. So this whole area is pretty critical for both the bulls and the bears. And really the bears are kind of on their last legs of how they can pull back. It doesn't mean they can't push up through this resistance area and then start the pullback. But if the pullback starts and the pullback is 3 waves, it's going to be awfully hard for the bears to come back up to get another high to start down lower again. So overall, the pullback will tell the story. I would like to see CPI come up into this trend line and then pull back. But if they do blow through it, that will start to look a lot more bullish overall. But still, the pullback will tell the story regardless. As long as they don't run through 45.51, we'd be looking for a pullback to tell the story. If they run directly through 45.51, then we have a different type of structure on our hands, and we'd be looking at the bullish count a lot more seriously. So 3-wave pullback, A, B, C is bullish. 5-wave pullback, where you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a bounce, is bearish. Okay, so we're still looking for the pullback on ES to tell the story. We really won't even consider anything a pullback until they break last Thursday's low down here at around 45.50 or so. If they can do that and push lower, then we can safely say we're in the pullback and look for the structure that we need to give us clues on moving forward. Over on the NASDAQ. Okay, so on the NASDAQ, if you've been listening for any amount of time, I have said the NASDAQ is the problem for the bears. It's an ugly diagonal to the downside. The wave 3 still didn't even hit its target. They are now above the ideal area where you would want this wave 4 to come into. The NASDAQ has been an issue for the bears the whole time. I've been beating the table about that if you're bullish, the NASDAQ is your out to take you to the next level up. And they're continuing to do so. Now, the NASDAQ was unable to break to the upside here. That doesn't mean they can't spike higher and then go lower. They did give us an ABC structure down and then came up, but they were unable to get a new high. So NASDAQ essentially comes down to, one, they have to hold 15,846. That is the wave 2 high. Above that invalidates the diagonal. Two, okay, what they need to do is they need to get a pullback that's going to be a fairly deep 3-wave pullback. So if you're bearish on the NASDAQ, they have to hold under 15,846, and you need to see a pretty deep 3-wave pullback that really should probably challenge these lows, maybe not get all the way there, somewhere down in here, and then you'll want to see a corrective bounce off of that. That would be the bearish path for the NASDAQ. Now, the NASDAQ doesn't have the benefit of the doubt of 5 waves down is bullish or bearish, 3 waves down is bullish, because in both cases, because the NASDAQ is in a leading diagonal, if it is bearish, in both cases, you're going to see a 3-wave move down. So either you're going to get wave 2, which is a 3-wave move, and then a 1 of 3, 2 of 3 breakout, or you're going to get a wave 5 in a diagonal, which all diagonal waves are 3 waves, so then you'd be looking a little bigger, but still a 3-wave structure down, where the NASDAQ breaks down toward the 13,600 area to give us wave 5 of that leading diagonal. So with the NASDAQ, we are sitting on a bullish structure here. You have a pretty good 5 waves up off of the low for a wave 1 of 5 up. Then you'd look for 2 and 3 as the breakout. Okay. But if ES does give us a clean 5 down off of a high, then we will switch back to the bearish count on the NASDAQ, as that will take precedent over the bullish potential with the ES giving us 5 down. Guys, if you love the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It'll take you right over to the webpage. Once you're there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible monthly plans that both come with a 7-day free trial. That's because I want you to get in there. I want you to be part of my trading team. I want you to make sure you love it, and it's for you before you ever spend a penny. You can cancel at any time. We also have our Elliott Wave for Beginners online course. This course is helping real traders make real money and understand the market in a way that makes sense. As you can see from the testimonials, it is helping traders understand how to use Elliott Wave Theory to trade the market. The incredibly frustrating thing about the stock market is when you watch the news cycles, there are times that good news makes the market go down and bad news makes the market go up, which means the news is irrelevant. Elliott Wave gives you the key levels to watch so that you understand where the market is heading and why, and when and where it fails. It makes sense of an irrational market. And that is what you have to have in order to be successful. It is 25 videos in 3 parts where I go through an introduction where we go over the expectations, your mindset, the KISS method, and why it works. It's also the chart setup and tools where I give you every single tool you need to use on your chart with Elliott Wave Theory to confirm tops, bottoms, turns, things like that, to make sure you're looking at the right counts. And then we have our Elliott Wave for Beginners area where I go through each wave, how they work, when they break down, when they confirm, what they look like in both states, a corrective zigzag, theory of alternation, corrective depth theory, the pivot, everything you need to know to understand Elliott Wave Theory so that the market can finally make sense to you. The really cool part, guys, is if you don't want to pay the $67, I completely understand, but it does come for free in both monthly rooms. So if you become a monthly member, you get access to the course for free. In our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, all of your Elliott Wave questions answered, a midday video where I go over exactly where we are in the counts and what to expect, as well as the training material you just saw. We trade the SPY and the QQQ, and we swing and day trade, so we trade quite often. However, if you're looking for futures trading, individual stocks, and PT's advanced training methods, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as individual stocks, futures trading, and PT's reduced risk binary method that absolutely crushes the market. He gets you in at a cheap price and gets you huge multiples on your money, and it's how he structures his trades that's so unique. Something you really have to see to understand, and that's another reason we give you that 7-day free trial. He also started a challenge account where he put $4,000 into an account trading mini ES futures, showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, we would love to have you in these rooms so we can all make money together. All right, key takeaways for today. We have a bunch of resistance overhead here at around this 44.55 area or so, just kind of where it intersects with this trend line. You have a moving average on the daily there. You have the 618 just above it at 44.70. This whole area should be heavy resistance. I could easily see CPI coming into this area and providing us the pullback we've been looking for. If, however, they are able to plow through this and get up over 45.51 directly, then we have a different structure on our hands and it looks much more bullish from there. Over on the NASDAQ, unlike ES, NASDAQ did not make a new high today. And really, we're looking at the ES pullback for all of the charts. If the ES gives us 5 waves down, then all charts become bearish. If the ES gives us 3 waves down, NASDAQ will always give us 3 down. Then we become bullish, where we're looking for a 1-2 setup to the breakout to the upside. So ES is going to tell the story for more than just its own chart in this particular instance because of the diagonal setup on the NASDAQ. Guys, that is your market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.